Hey there, welcome to episode 92 of the FFS Talk audio program. I'm your host, Dan Hugo. We are recording this at 1:27 p.m. on Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Our normal day to publish FFS Talk audio programs is Thursday, so we're recording this a little bit later than normal. But hey, it's still Thursday. Today's title and topic is pizza. Why pizza? Why not pizza? But I will say, the news is so weird and there's so much going on in the world, so I thought I would keep it light for today. What works, what does not about pizza. There's really nothing we can do about it. It's just pizza. We can just eat pizza or not. But FFS Talk, on the other hand, if this is your first time hearing or first time even learning about FFS Talk, it is intended to be a discussion, a debate, a conversation about whatever the topic at hand, and we discuss what works, what does not, and what we might do about it. How can we turn things that don't work into things that do? Now, as it turns out, this is the 92nd episode, actually the 93rd, technically, without a guest. It turns out that audio essays are a lot easier to plan. But I prefer to think of this as planting seeds for discussion in the future. As well, I think if we do have a discussion with a guest, probably make that a video discussion, which I think is a little bit easier to enable participation in the dialogue, and it might bring some interesting qualities to participation by the viewer. Maybe there will be some illustrations or other things to see. So, still kind of a work in progress, but it is nice to be able to get some ideas out there to whet the appetites, so to speak. So if you've heard an episode of this audio program that you find interesting and you would like to discuss, maybe you have a view that differs, come on down. If you have found this audio program somewhere, you know the email address associated with it, so you can send an email there. Why am I not announcing the email address? Because I really want to actually have a guest sign up thing that's a little bit better, but we'll get to that in a second. So the FFS name, if you're curious, it comes from an Irish expression. If you are not familiar, then you probably need to hang out with more Irish people. That's how that works. So on that note, hopefully wherever you found this audio program, you're able to locate the audio description, the episode description, I should say, and the show notes within. The show notes contain a summary that I will read to you. It's 2 sentences. There are 4 links. I have some comments about links in general. And then we'll get into it. So there you go, show notes. The summary is pizza is one of those things that is regional, somewhat tribal, and is always a topic of conversation. Well, not always, but you know what I mean. The same is true of a great many things, but who doesn't like pizza? Don't answer that. That was 3 sentences, I suppose. Buy Dan a coffee. You don't have to actually buy me a coffee, but it is the buymeacoffee.com/DanHugo profile page, which contains links to all of my audio programs and projects, some biographical information, some affiliate links for my favorite coffee beans, and some other things that I actually use. So there you go. It costs you nothing. You're under no obligation to spend any money. So again, you don't need to actually buy me a coffee. You can if you want. Any money that comes through this portal goes towards coffee. Coffee is what makes all of my things go. You should note, if you do visit the buymeacoffee.com/DanHugo profile page, that there are links to all of my audio programs that will get you to not only the Spotify for Creators profile page, which itself has links to other places to find the various programs like Apple Podcasts, if you're an Apple person, Amazon Podcasts, of course, Spotify. I think a couple of them are on iHeartRadio. There might be more, and the RSS feed itself. Also on the Spotify profile page, with varying levels of certainty, you may find a link to the homepage for each program, and possibly the YouTube channel for each program. This is very inconsistent. I cannot speak for the editing of the Spotify profile page. It's wacky. But if you're still on the buymeacoffee.com/DanHugo page, you'll find links not only to the YouTube channel for each one. So there's like @FFS Talk. So youtube.com/@FFS Talk, TALK, talk. So you'll find audio programming on YouTube so far. And if we start doing videos, great. So the podcast episodes are converted to audio I'm sorry, they're converted to video so you can watch the cover art, single frame. But more likely, you can just listen to it however you consume podcasts. You can get it from the RSS feed on the Spotify page. I should put the RSS feed on the homepage, on the websites for each of these as well, which I'll do. And again, I've kind of given that away. There are homepages for each. So ffs.com, quaglingsand.com, cafegenius.org, innovateforvegas.org, and danhugo.com, where you can find the Buy Me an Update and Coffee Solo feeds and programs and whatnot. Those are kind of weird, so I figured I'll just claim them myself. Speaking of Buy Me an Update, initially and still available, just not exclusively, initially exclusively, but now not so much. buymeacoffee.com/danhugo/posts. You will find the Buy Me an Update audio program posted on Mondays. It's a quick rundown on the previous week's audio program topics and any news and announcements upcoming. It's 5 minutes or less. Also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the other places. And Coffee Solo, ko-fi.com/danhugo/posts. No longer published exclusively on coffee.com, but still published there initially. So it goes there first and then on to the other places. So all of these are all to be found in as many places as possible. Coffee Solo has no schedule, no particular set of topics or constraints. It could go anytime, anywhere, just random stuff. And as the name implies, solo, just me. And the last link, Wikipedia pizza page. Say that a couple times fast. Wikipedia.org/wiki/pizza. I figured it'd be nice to have a starting point. As with most things, the Wikipedia is a great place to begin your journey of learning about whatever it is you are seeking to learn about. Just don't end there. You can just go out and have some pizza after you peruse. But that's a little bit of background information about pizza, the origin story from Naples. But probably the same thing was being invented in other places around the same time. Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? We have pizza today, and that's the important part. So, and again, this is not intended to be a super serious episode. There's just been too many things in the news, too much chaos, too much weirdness. Thought I would keep it light, and I've been watching. Beard Meets Food. Meat spelled with an A. Meat, like food meat. Beard Meets Food. It's an eating challenge show. A guy from England, Adam, I think his name is, goes and eats ridiculous amounts of food, and if you can eat it all in a time limit, it's free. Yeah, what's the world coming to? So he was doing a pizza challenge. That one happened to come through the YouTube recommended thing, and I said, pizza. Maybe not that much pizza, but who doesn't enjoy pizza? So it seemed like a nice topic for a day on which keeping it light is the thing. So I'm going to say New York pizza is the best. I'm going to plant the flagpole right away. I myself am from New Jersey with an Italian half of the family, and I want to say that somebody had a pizza restaurant at some point. So pizza was a thing that we all enjoyed now and then. When we lived in New Milford, the two places I remember from when I was like 3 or 4 years old. Pizza Town, USA, which had good pizza, really thin slices, but also calzone. That's where I first, a fried calzone. And Big Jim's, a little hole-in-the-wall place. We used to like to go there and get some pizza every once in a while. And these are the ones in New Milford area near home. I have no sense of where they were, but I just know it didn't take long to get there. Plus any number of slices had in the New York area when we were over in the city. Different places. I mean, pizza, you can trip over pizza. Rodents can get a slice and get on the internets, on video. Pizza is everywhere. It should go without saying then that New York style pizza is the best, according to me, at about age 5, when we moved to Arizona, at which point we eventually tried other kinds of pizza that might have changed. These were all okay as well, though I'm almost positive there was some comparison going on. Like, is this as good as would we be able to find pizza like we had back east? Is there a way we can? I mean, we were also worried about crumb cake and devil dog, so there was a lot of stuff going on back in those days. But yeah, finding good pizza was definitely important. Over time, while I was living in the Phoenix area, and surely ongoing, like since. People have moved from back east, that's the New York area or any number of other places nearby, and some of them have brought their pizza making skills, and some have even brought the water. That's a sort of an inside thing. If you ever go to a New York style pizza or bagel place and they say, we use New York water, it might be worth trying. Check it out. Allegedly critical in the making of authentic pizza and bagel dough. The balance of the pizza force is always maintained. But wait, there's other pizza? It turns out pizza is made in other places. It took me a while to learn this. I mean, when I was in Arizona, I was shocked that there was pizza. But I was 5. No, I was 6. I was coming up on 6, I think. No, I was 6, coming up on 7. Oh, crazy. Turns out pizza is made in other places, in other ways. In fact, I would later discover that sometimes pizza in New York is made in other ways also, which seems like a violation of some law, but it can happen. So there was something other than New York pizza, which was a revelation of sorts. Once in Arizona, it became very clear that there were other pizza styles to try, not to mention any number of frozen pizzas and the infamous school cafeteria pizza, which I used to enjoy in high school. It's probably at one very far end, at the very distant end of a pizza spectrum, but it was on there. I used to call it the pizza thing. So if I was having lunch on campus, I would go through the line. I think it cost like $1. The lunch, the proverbial lunch lady used to say, "Oh, pizza thing." Pizza thing. That was a square of pizza on a little boat of French fries and a drink. I used to get like chocolate milk or something. Once I moved to California for college and then worked in Silicon Valley, I was exposed to yet more pizza options. Now I was exposed to pizza options before I moved, but certainly once you're living in California, you get literally the other end of a national pizza spectrum, I suppose. Exposed to yet more pizza options with all manner of toppings and whatnot, not to mention those other styles from other places. I became rather fond of Chicago-style pizza for a time. There was a place called Pizza Chicago. I believe it was PIZ''ZA, I think, Chicago. It was like a mini, I think there were like 3 or 4 locations. There was one that happened to be super close to where I lived. And I think somebody got a Chicago Fire pizza to go one time when we were having some late night work at Supermac or something like this. And that was my first job up there. And I remember like, what is this? There's like barbecue sauce and red onion, like not the normal pizza. And I kind of got hooked. They had a number of thick, crazy topping slices. It was good. So just a different take on pizza. Go figure. Once I then traveled to other countries, including Rome, although not Sicily yet, nor Naples. Nepal. What is it? Who wrote this stuff? Naples. Neapolitan pizza is the sort of the origin story, allegedly. I was exposed to yet more regional pizza styles. They were all good. Pizza in Rome was good, but very different. Very thin, like the crust was just a different experience. But they also had all different varieties in a variety of ways. So how interesting then that all of these are pizza, yet they're all variations on that theme, and how interesting as well how tribal the fandom is around pizza. It's almost like it's a Star Trek or Star Wars or any sort of sci-fi or comic book movie or anything. People can freak out. My favorite pizza style is better than whatever it is you like, unless you like my pizza style. Do we need to step outside and discuss our pizza preference? So let us begin with what does not work. Normally I start with what works and then I do what's not, but let's get the bad news out of the way first. The downside of pizza, or rather the pizza fandom, because there's really nothing wrong with pizza when you get right down to it, is the notion that there is one good pizza and the rest are bad. Pretty binary, right? Or that there is a pizza style ranking scheme and that the one I like is better than yours and yours might be better than some other one, but generally speaking, mine is the best. As is true of so many things in life, variety is rarely a bad thing. So having access to so many different variations on a theme could be considered a net positive. However, there is a chunk of population out there, probably many chunks based on the different styles and whatnot, that will stand behind their pizza style and eschew all others for no good reason, really. This is particularly true of Detroit pizza fans for some reason, with my unscientific study results. I don't get it. Detroit pizza is fine. So are a lot of other types. Probably all of them when you really think about it. Regardless of preparation style, it is that preparation that matters. And while it may be deceptively easy to make a pizza, if you've never made the pizza dough, then if you have, then you're like, oh, this is actually like making bread. It is the last 20%, so to speak, where a good pizza becomes great pizza. Those little things matter, and it is too easy not to get there. In other words, not getting that 20% happens a lot. I myself watched someone preparing a pizza in a restaurant, touching her hair without gloves, and then back to the pizza. That's no good. A lack of cleanliness, lack of good food prep practices, maybe the ingredients, the toppings have been sitting out, maybe they're withering, maybe they're just old. Good practices, as in complying with health department rules, and maybe some good sense, like not touching your hair with your bare hand. Respect the craft, as they say, and it is too easy, as pizza has become a commodity, to toss out that respect and crank out junk. And this does not help with the notion of pizza in any way. There may be, I don't like Detroit-style pizza. Well, where did you have Detroit? I had it at the worst Detroit pizza place in the world. Oh, well, that might have an impact on your judgment. So it's a shame that it's almost like sandwiches, right? Oh, anybody can make a sandwich. Well, once you've had a really, really good sandwich, like, oh, they specify the bread from a particular bakery, and they bake it for a certain number of seconds at a certain temperature, and then the bread has a certain sugar content, so it becomes brown, and then we use these sauces and custom-made sauces. Suddenly a sandwich is not just a sandwich. So same with pizza, when you think about it. And then people that are just making junky sandwiches are doing sandwiches dirty. Some people have particular dietary restrictions, special requirements, allergies, and whatnot. So that cheese, tomato sauce, maybe oregano or basil or cilantro, even maybe the dough itself will cause them problems or violate their preferences or needs. Okay, this happens. The problem arises when the variant pizzas sometimes leave the pizza realm but claim to be pizza, which then leads to outrageous comparisons and condemnation. I've seen it happen. Gluten-free pizza? That doesn't taste like the real pizza. Vegan pizza? That's not real cheese. What is this? And people get bent out of shape. How can they call this pizza? Maybe they shouldn't. The complaints go on. I propose making it clear that this is not the pizza you are looking for if you're going to have a reaction along those lines. As well, it may make sense to come up with new names for things that are similar to, but not really their original counterparts. It's almost like vegetarian hamburger patties. They're just a different thing, right? So you could argue this is it's almost like a ship of Theseus thing. Like, we've changed enough ingredients. Is it still the pizza you were thinking you were getting? Or hamburger, or whatever, so that haters can spend their time hating elsewhere. Don't even get into it. This isn't pizza. Okay, call it something else. Okay, luckily many more things do work about pizza, so we're on to the good half of the pie. I just thought of that. That's kind of funny. Pizza really works well if we step back from the specifics. If you like pizza from one place, there are many more to try. You may like pizza from other places. You may like Roman or California or Chicago or Detroit or wherever. It's almost, I hesitate to go here because it's a completely different thing, and yet it's kind of the same. Barbecue. Do you like Carolina barbecue? Do you like Texas barbecue? Et cetera, et cetera. By place, we could also mean parts of the world, or we could mean different restaurants or food trucks, or maybe your friend's home or your grandma's home, wherever pizza may be found. While some may assign their opinion immediately on learning that what the pizza is in question, learning that it's not of their tribe. Oh, it's not Detroit pizza? Ugh, I don't want it. Why am I picking on Detroit? No reason. It's not of my tribe, if you will. It's important to experience a larger world. If it is through diverse pizza selection, embrace it, you will be rewarded. That is usually the outcome. That's the likely outcome anyway. It's what I've found in my travels. Pizza actually appears in many cultures and in variations on the theme, and is really, not rally, gotta get that E in there sometimes, is really a base of food innovation when you really think about it. There's at least one pizza trade show here in Vegas. I don't know if you knew that, but it's it seems a little pricey unless you really want to get down with some pizza. And there's a lot of pizza restaurants in Vegas, so I myself have had Turkish pizza, for example, lahmacun, delicious and different, but strangely familiar. Now this is a bit of a stretch, but if you've ever had Ethiopian food served in traditional, with the kind of has a pizza thing going on, kind of. But yeah, lahmacun, Turkish pizza, delicious. And there are others. There are other variations. But if you fold a slice of pizza over, like especially if you have like a sausage and onion, a big slice that you can fold in half. Are you in the hot dog as a sandwich arena? I've totally misspelled. hot dot sandwich as a sandwich. That's not that. Hot dog is a sandwich, right? So is a nice foldable slice of pizza with sausage, for example. That'd be a pretty close analog. You fold it over. Now you essentially have toppings with sausage between bread, but the bread is joined at one side, so it's not really a sandwich, but is it kind of like a roll? It's kind of, if you fold the entire pizza pie over and you pinch the edges, maybe call it a calzone, you have an entirely different pizza mode, and that should remind you of empanadas, for example. Make them smaller and you have dumplings or pierogi. You get the idea. We can see the pizza can take many forms by many names, so there is no need to try to replicate the pizza in flavor and texture and presentation at every turn. The possibilities are endless, right? You don't see people calling empanadas calzone. They're empanadas. You don't see people calling lahmacun pizza. Okay, it's Turkish pizza, but it's lahmacun, right? You can. Okay, sorry, I skipped a line here. Those vegan and gluten-free pizzas I mentioned, if they don't live up to some norm or standard held by purists, so be it. Call them pizza or pizza or something. I don't know. Make up your own names. You know how they can change the spelling of something on food packaging. It's like, hey, creme, whatever, CREME. That's on food that is alleging to be ice cream. That's not ice cream, right? But it looks kind of like it. No, it's totally different. So it looks like a pizza, but it's not a pizza. Don't call it a pizza, then you won't have pizza. This is not pizza. That's right. It's pizza. You can make a pizza with cauliflower crust, and there are dessert pizzas. And let us not even begin to talk about cold pizza and breakfast pizzas. Those are often one and the same. And we have only barely scratched the surface here. No matter which pizza region you call your favorite, the others also great. There are pizza analogs, of course. Pizza as a platform of comparison. You can make pizzas and pizza variations, or you can think about the world through the lens of pizza. So as an afterword, let us ponder pizza as a metaphor, an analog, as I said, that is something of a model for a variety of other things, not the least of which might be other foods. How many ways can you make an egg? How many ways can you use rice? How many ways can you prepare a potato? And the list goes on. Pizza is just highly visible. And you're hard pressed to find people that don't like pizza in some form. Even if you're a vegan, you can make a pizza that's vegan friendly. You don't have to put cheese on it. It could still be a pizza without cheese if you don't have any Vizza cheese around, for example. The same can be said of people, places, and things, of so many variations and varieties of variations, with similar facets of non-working and working, right? Some things work about people, if you use the pizza analogy. Some things don't work. We don't need to go too far to make this analogy clear, especially today. We're keeping it light. But we know people can be tribal. They prefer those from their neighborhood to others. They sometimes say horrible things about the other pizza, right? Yeah, well, we can leave that there. But it turns out people are far more interesting if you get to know them beyond your nearest neighbor. And that's just like pizza. Now, the only thing I have to say to close, pineapple? Yeah. That's where we'll leave it for today. Keeping it light, like I said. Is anybody else hungry? You want to go have some pizza? Take care. Try to have a good week and a good weekend. Cheers.